Good. Is it afternoon or morning? It's almost afternoon. Good after almost noon. How are you? I am back today and we're going to be talking about free will and followers, the sad truth. Welcome, welcome, welcome in. So hold on, guys. I think this is a little bit too high. Just take some. Yeah, there we go. The sad truth about followers versus free will. Okay, so free will, the difference between following and free will. Free will is your own choice, making a decision. Following is being influenced by someone to make a decision without thinking, or so you don't have to think. So a lot of people are a bit confused about what I talk about, what I teach, what I say. I also get a lot of people saying, are you for this? Are you for that? I'm not for anything but free will and thinking. That's all I'm for. A lot of people want to put you in a category, but they get mad when they can't because they can't figure anything out because they don't think. Okay? So it's kind of like when you go to the grocery store and they put all these products on a shelf. They got all these products on the shelf in the grocery store. And it's your choice what you put in your cart, what you walk out the store with and pay for. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't mean you're for or against a certain brand. It doesn't mean you're for or against a certain type of diet. Whatever you put in that cart is what you walk out of that store with. Now, some people walk in and get the same crap over and over and over. Every time they go to the grocery store, they get the exact same thing. They never try anything new. They don't want to experiment and cook something different. They don't want to try this different brand. They're very set in their ways and they're going to get what they're going to get, period. And, this is how life is. If you have to pick a side, pick your own side, make a side. Okay, create your own formula, create your own ideas, create your own belief system, create your own points of view. Because you don't really have free will if you're only choosing what people give you a choice to pick between. And so a lot of people were on my video the other day or yesterday, oh, you must be a Trump supporter. I don't support Trump. I don't support Biden. I support free thinkers. I support anyone who has a brain, anyone who does their own thinking. I support you. That's why I get on this channel and do what I do. Because I support, I almost said Sephora. I support free thinkers. So, and I understand why people are followers, and don't think for themselves. It's because they don't have the IQ, the patience, or the discipline to get information. They're just lazy. So it's easier to just follow someone. That's it. It's just so easy to follow somebody because people are too lazy. And when I say lazy, I really mean lazy. If you follow someone without checking anything, you can't blame anyone but yourself in the end. So, I have so many people asking me, well, what about this celebrity supporting or doing this? Those celebrities get paid. They get special deals. If they wear a mask, if they hold up a sign, that doesn't mean they went and voted for this person. They could have wrote their own name on the ballot. You don't know what they did. Most of these celebrities are so high up into the occult that they understand the whole game. And if someone calls, let's say, because a lot of people are asking me about Beyonce. If somebody calls Beyonce and put this Biden mask on and you can get a Netflix deal next year. You could get a Disney deal next year. You can get a whatever deal next year. I mean, Just wear the mask. You ain't got to say who to vote for. Just put the picture of you in a mask on. That's enough for us, Beyonce. We know you have high influence. You don't have to tell people who to vote for. You don't even have to talk. You can if you want, but know that if you do this, more doors are open for you where they were all, may have been closed. So she's going to be like, okay, well, I wear a stupid mask. I don't care who they vote for anyway. It's all rigged and fake anyway. And if they are awake and not sheep, the smart people are going to do what they want to do anyway. So I'm just going to wear the t-shirt, wear the mask, take a picture, and get my money. You see? So stop following people because you think they're trying to make you do something. They're simply wearing a t-shirt. They're simply wearing a mask. They're simply suggesting something to you. They're not holding a gun to your head and saying, this is the way you better vote or else. Everything is free will. And that's how you are tested. That's how you're tested. That's how you're tested. Everything is free will. Just because someone told you to do something doesn't mean you go and do it. If that were the case, every time I walked out the house, I'd be cheating. Okay, somebody, hey, what's your name? I'd be an unfaithful wife every time I walked out the house if I had to do what everyone suggested me to do. Okay. So I have my own brain. I can think. And I feel that most people don't understand that they have a choice. And I feel that a lot of people are just, I wish we could rewind the time for a lot of people to where when you had to research, you actually had to go find a book, flip through the whole book looking for whatever you're looking for. And now you can just Google it on the phone. And it makes me upset because I spend a lot of time on my channel and doing videos, but people still don't know how to work Google. I'm going to do a tutorial how to Google. Okay. You don't even have to type anymore. You can just talk and it's automated. And I think a lot of people just, are so comfortable and complacent that they don't realize that every decision they're making affects their life, their kids' lives, and so on and so forth. So I just wish so many more people were like a lot of people on my channel in the world anyway. I wish people were excited to get knowledge. I wish people were excited to decode. I wish people were addicted to decoding or reading or researching. A couple years ago, I was addicted to buying junk at the Dollar Tree. Just because I would get online, I would watch Dollar Tree haul videos, and I'm like, oh, I need that. Now I'm addicted to reading and researching and decoding. And I've already gone through like 3 books in less than 2 weeks, just simply decoding. So, yeah. So, I still go Dollar Tree. I buy pens and notebooks and stuff. I love the pens up there. But honestly, I replaced one bad habit with a good habit. I was always going to research and, study anyway, but now I do it even more. Because at this time right now, there's so much stuff happening and coming in. This is the time right now to get this knowledge, because a lot of the stuff that's already written is about to actually be over and done with. And then we got to rewrite a whole new chapter or start from the beginning again. You had a dream last night. Everything you said came to pass. Oh, thank you, Sea Star. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Yeah, dreams are crazy. I couldn't even really sleep good last night. There was something that The reason I couldn't sleep good last night is because I was researching before I went to bed. And I don't really get emotionally involved in anything that I research. But, there comes a time when you get to a point where you do realize that there are crazy people out here that do kidnap, that do, torture and do all these crazy things. And once you get to that side of, learning this knowledge and decoding and stuff, it's kind of like, dang, why do they do this? Why do they think this will give them power? Why do they feel as if this is necessary? And, once you really start looking deep into it as to why they think something is necessary when they hurt, innocent kids or, people, why do they think this is necessary? What is it going to get them? How are they gaining from it? You have to understand that it's almost as if, I would say, I mean, a lot of people will call it Satanism or whatever, but I would say it's almost if these people are looking for something to tap into the cosmos with, as well as offended at the same time. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like The Exorcist. But it's almost like you're exploiting someone, but also offending someone at the same time as you are, robbing them. It's interesting. Thank you, Veranda. Hi, I've messaged you on Etsy for part. Sprinkle. Thank you. Yes, I'm done until after November, but I really appreciate that. I'll write you back soon. Thanks. So, Sprinkle. Yeah. So it's almost like it's almost like breaking in someone's house and recording yourself using their toilet or poisoning their milk or something and then leaving. It's kind of like a slap in the face, but saying, oh, I have temporary access to something and I'm going to offend you. So because I'm petty like that. Okay, so that's how I feel about all this, pedophilia and stuff that's going on. It's like a slap in the face for a temporary glimpse, and it's done out of spite, and no true power really comes from it or anything like that, except the initiate power that comes with brotherhoods and getting into certain spaces and clubs. But I also know there is a huge, I don't want to say huge, there's a few undercover people that have been part of certain things that's why all these people are getting busted. That's why everybody's coming down on certain people, because there's a few plants, I'll say, that were in the industry on purpose, put in position to rat out a lot of these people. And so that's another reason why, some people want to get back into the position of power so that they can continue on with doing a lot of these things. And so I don't want to get like political about it, but there are certain political parties that really do a lot of pedophilia. I'll just say that. So they really want to get back into power so that they can continue doing what they're doing, because a lot of their operations have been infiltrated by undercover people. Sorry, I had to throw that away. And they really don't know what to do right now. So a lot of people say, well, by any means necessary, we have to get back into power. So do what you got to do, because there's not enough Amber Alerts going off anymore. There's not enough, stuff going on anymore, because we don't have access to things as easily as we used to have access to them. People are onto us now. So. And someone wrote me in my comments, and they were saying, oh, well, this political party is going to help LGBT and trans or whatever. So let me tell you guys about the transgender priesthood, since a lot of you guys haven't gotten that far in your studies. Just like they sacrifice or torture kids, adults, you melanated people, whatever, they also torture transgender. They also use the transgender priesthood and also do sacrifices with the LGBT community as well. Just so you guys know, in order to get your trust and to keep you close and near so that they can have plenty of stock, they will pretend always to be on your side and do things for you. Okay. So, I mean, why not keep your farm close? Why not keep your farm close without fences so that they don't roam away? So this is why I'm trying to tell you guys, if you just do research and think for self, you'll understand that, sometimes people that are for you are only for you to keep you close and near, so that when something should happen, they're the last person that people expect. Okay? I'm the last person people expect. Because I support the LGBT. I love the LGBT. That's what these people will say. But at the same time, they're the same ones snatching them off the street and killing them in these rituals, in these with this someone called it a eunuch. Yes, with the eunuch transgender priesthood rituals and whatnot. So y'all have to really get into whatever you're doing as far as research, get in there super deep, because a lot of the stuff you guys don't realize that's happening. And I think once you realize and see certain things that you didn't see before, you're going to start looking at a lot of things with a side eye. Like, why are you so eager to get my support so bad? Why do you need my support so bad? Why can't you just, get my support on your own values? Why do you have to reach for, gimmicks? So, people keep saying that about Michelle. I don't know, though. I really don't think so. Y'all have to understand, stop trying to label people good or bad. It's like a haunted house. They are paid to come out, dress up, scare you, go back in, do the same thing. Entertainers are not here to guide you. They are here to test you and to be in this dream or in this matrix, but they are not anybody who can tell you what's right or wrong. That's up to you. Okay, that's totally up to you. And so many people are always looking for a follower or a leader. But stop. Even Prince said on Purple Rain, so you trying to, you're looking for a leader, but you can't make up your mind. So let me guide you to the purple rain. That means to your higher self, to your crown chakra. You are your own leader. Stop looking. Stop trying to stay good, bad, good, bad. How about awake, smart, informed, intelligent while looking in the mirror? Okay, stop looking for other people to tell you the way. Because if you don't stop looking for somebody to tell you the way. Do y'all remember Alice in Wonderland? How every time she got lost and people was trying to tell her the way, they would point a whole different way. She'd be going in a circle deeper down a rabbit hole, and they would be laughing at her. That's the same thing, until she started thinking for herself, she couldn't get anywhere. So Make sure you're not looking for other people to tell you what to do. I never tell people what to do. I always say, go and do your research, please. And I do listen to other people's information when they share it with me, because I have an open mind, and I learn something new every day. Yeah. So, well, there's certain, belief systems and books that a lot of these people use, and um, to do a lot of these, rituals and stuff. So in certain books, that's almost kind of like their cult/religion. It does involve that. And I don't really want to go into it, but y'all can do that research. You know, hmm and here's the thing. Free will is always going to be free will. Free will, free will. It's not what I think. It's not what you think. It's the choice you need to make at that given moment that's going to be most beneficial to you, or going to take you where you're trying to get. You know, we're not here to be judged by right or wrong. And that's the biggest thing that most people need to realize. We are not going to be judged by what's correct and what's incorrect. Okay? We will never be judged by what's right or wrong unless it's in a court of law and you stand up in front of a judge because you got caught doing a crime. But I'm talking spiritually. Okay? You will never be judged by what is right or wrong spiritually. You will be judged by your frequency. Period. That's it. Because judged means your energy, when you leave this realm, is going to have to transition through several layers and phases and stuff. And according to how high your frequency is how high you can get. That's about it. Okay. So here on Earth, this is why they do so much what we would consider bad, evil, or then good and wonderful. And they figure, well, it must be, the same way in the heavens. If you get judged down here for doing bad, you should be judged up there. But it's not that you're being judged for doing something wrong, evil, or bad. It's that you're being judged according to the frequency that you either created by the situation or the frequency that you're at while doing the situation. So, like, for example, if you're a mean person, if you fight or, get in fights a lot, your frequency is going to be low. If you're a good person and you're happy, you're reading, stories to little kids and donating and all that stuff, you're happy doing that. Your frequency is high because you're happy, because you enjoy doing that. So that's kind of like how it works. Now for these people that don't understand, for these like psycho people whose frequency gets high because they enjoy doing quote unquote things that are sadistic to other people, that's exactly what it is. It's sadistic. Some people are sadistic and their frequency rises when doing certain things. That's what it is. And this is how they try to mentally balance it, or karmically balance it, or spiritually balance it, or morally balance it. But at the same time, if they are made to feel a certain way or guilty about it at some point, then that all changes. And this is where influence is most important, not on who to vote for, but how you can get to someone emotionally. Okay? Because this is why you have a lot of these undercover people who are outing these other people who are sadistic. Okay? Because people are appealing to their emotional aspect, and these people are starting to feel guilt, and they're starting to blow whistles. Okay. So this is why I say there's no good or bad. There's only frequency. And if you can affect someone's frequency, you can affect someone's action. And I always say this is why the music industry is so important. This is why the entertainment industry is so important. This is why, people listen to entertainers over politicians a lot, because music is a frequency and it makes you feel good. So you have a positive association with looking at a certain person. And therefore, if they tell you something, you're going to just automatically go with it because, oh, well, usually they make my frequency rise. So I'm just going to go ahead and go with it. Still not understanding that you must still do your own research so that your frequency can be okay when you find out what's really been going on. You know what I'm saying? So, and I know a lot of people are kicking themselves right now, especially a lot of people that voted that didn't do their research. I wonder what their frequency is doing right now. So, because the truth is always going to come out eventually, and you don't want to be caught with a low frequency because you didn't know any better, or you didn't do any research when you had plenty of time and opportunity. So that's why I'm saying, and a lot of these people try to atone their action by actually helping, reveal some of the stuff. So if you feel like you need to atone your frequency by, teaching or revealing something or turning over a new leaf or whatever on how you think and doing more research, that's how you lift it. So you'll usually see like a celebrity come out and wear a stupid Biden mask, and then you'll see them doing something else to atone themselves. So you just have to keep your eye out. This is how it works. It's only energy. Okay. It's not, well, you told me to do this. No, I wore a mask, baby. You did that on your own. Okay. Y'all know the okie doke and the trickster, the story of Job and all that. It's the same thing. You cannot allow people you can't blame people for the decisions you made. So I feel that free will versus following. Most followers don't really have free will because they just choose whatever choice their leader chooses. And why they need a leader in the first place, you got to ask yourself. Why do I need a leader? You know who needs leaders? People that can't think for themselves and just, okay, you go ahead and lead the way. I trust you. Right. So we don't need leaders. We need thinkers. Most of the people that you watch online or who are the thinkers make more sense than all leaders put together. I'll just say that one more time. Most thinkers that you'll find who have written books or are online who are talking about certain things have way better ideas and make way more sense than the leaders you are given. You know why? I'll tell you why. Because you're not supposed to follow leaders. You're supposed to either become a leader of yourself and your family until they are old enough to think and lead themselves, but that's it. So the next time, you see some, conspiracy theories come out, a lot of times those are people atoning themselves and blowing whistles because they no longer feel that, or they don't think that they can get on that frequency to agree with some of this stuff as something that's going to lift their frequency. So they go ahead and expose people because now their frequency is no longer raising up because they've been doing their research. Okay. So stop looking for answers and look for knowledge instead. Stop looking for direction from other people and find it within by researching and doing knowledge. Looking for knowledge. Anywhere you can find knowledge, I promise you. Anything you can pretty much decode. As long as you're able to think for yourself, that's all that matters. The answers are within, right? So, I know there's a lot of new people that are coming onto the spiritual path, and they're like, what do you think about tarot cards? What do you think about I think that's a great tool to look inside and have insight with. I think right now, none of those things really matter. What really matters is your frequency right now. If tarot cards raise your frequency, then, use them all you desire. If, doing spell work raises your frequency, then do that. If reading and decoding raises your frequency, then do that. But make sure whatever you're doing is also beneficial to you as well. Okay? Like, if something raises your frequency, but it's not beneficial to you, it's temporary and a waste of time. So make sure remember mind, body, and soul. You got 3 aspects: the spiritual, the physical, and the mental. If whatever you're doing is not beneficial for all 3 of those, you're wasting time. Okay, so try to keep that in mind. Yep. Keep it in mind. Because you have people out here expending their energy and not receiving anything back. Tesla said my brain is only a receiver. All the answers is already exist. Yeah, that's true. Definitely true. Mm-hmm. But it goes even further than that. Like, if you really, really want to get deep, all the answers already exist. That is true. Just like every combination of numbers already exists. That is true. But have they been put together yet? Have they been styled by you? Have they been arranged and, formed in such a way that has your signature on it? So that's what I say, It's like saying words. There are already words. You just put them in order to make the story. Put them in the order you choose to create your story. Because the words have already been made. You just got to put them in a certain order. Okay, that's how I think about it. I saw a post and I shared it on Instagram. It said, there are more chess moves. There are more combinations of chess moves than there are stars in the universe. Okay. Interesting, right? Mm-hmm. So, it's hard to talk to people, especially when they're not, on the same level. So this is why you should have plenty of time to go do your own research. Because you should have plenty of time to do your own research, because you definitely can't sit up and talk to the normal people of this world. That's why I have so much time, because I definitely can't sit up there and talk to just the regular people of the world. So I think most people don't realize this is a good thing. This is a good thing when you start evolving mentally, spiritually, past the normal people. what you would consider normal. It means you have ascended at least that much. You know how people are always worried about ascending and stuff? Oh, am I going to ascend? If you can't talk to regular people, you've pretty much ascended past them, at least. Okay? You've ascended past regular people. So you're on your way. You good. If you can't sit and talk to regular people without rolling your eyes, taking deep breaths, and trying to hold that tongue, and just thinking this fool, inside your mind, you've ascended to a certain degree, yeah. You're no longer part of the masses anymore. You've ascended past that frequency. You good. Now you got to ascend to the next frequency. And that being, that next frequency being, how does everything work? How does everything go together? How does everything, not equate to good and evil? You're going to have to start trying to figure out how to view things without being emotional about them. That's 5. That's 5D right there. And you can view things without having to be emotional about them. It's very interesting. Very interesting new mindset comes in. Do y'all remember Spock from Star Trek? And he was very emotionless. He was only about facts, information, and understanding certain things. When you get to a certain point mentally and you let go of the emotion, your logic and your sense grows so much that certain things seem stupid now that you may have valued before. You know what I'm saying? And it seems at one point it starts to seem like a waste of people's time. It starts to seem like, oh, these people are ignorant. It starts to seem like, but why? This is temporary, And so you're going to start to see a whole nother way of thinking open up. And this is where a lot of the ideas come in, and that will change a lot of stuff for the better, because people's emotions are not involved. Because emotions are based on temporary feelings that will pass in a couple of minutes or days, depending on what happened. But making critical decisions can last forever, or, a very long time. So when you get to this level without using your emotion to make your decisions, you're going to have a whole nother viewpoint, and your entire, belief system may even just change. Thank you, Veranda. Sprinkle, sprinkle. What books do I recommend? Emerald Tablets, of course. The Compendium of the Emerald Tablets of Thoth by Billy Carson is a really good one, because there's notes in there and it helps you decode a little bit. Complete Idiot's Guide to Alchemy. And I always recommend the same ones for beginners, If you know how to decode already, you want to go deeper, then The Murder of Reality by Pierre Sabec. I think that's his name. So that's the one that I'm done reading that one. I read that. It's like this thick, and I'm done, and I dang near copied half of it, because when I read certain things and I want to remember it or really absorb it, I copy it. I write it. And then I decode as well when I'm writing it, or I give examples under, certain things of how I relate it. So, yeah, that's a really good one. But, anything you're drawn to, that's what you need to read, and that's another thing. Like, people are always asking for suggestions on books to read. whatever you are drawn to, whatever you are being pulled towards, whatever your energy and your frequency is pulling you toward, go read it. Okay? Because people are not always going to guide you to where your frequency is at the moment. My frequency is at a certain point that yours may not be, and you might not be ready for that yet. I had the Book of Enoch for years before I was ready to read it and understand it. And one day I picked it up and understood it. But before, it was foreign language to me, or I couldn't understand one lick of it. But as I kept growing and doing my research and gaining knowledge, I could understand it. Then, years later, I picked it up and decoded it just real quick. And I was right on time. It was right on time because everything had started happening already. And that book was on a shelf, tucked away, all the way upstairs in my office, and something told me I need to go read it. Something kept nagging me in my head to go read it. And so I did. And a lot of knowledge came from there that may have saved a lot of people's lives, my life, whatever. So just think about what you're drawn to and go with that. Stop depending on other people's, because y'all aren't on the same frequency. What are you drawn to? What are you seeking within right now? What answers do you desire? That's what you need to be reading. Because I read whatever books that I am naturally drawn to. Right. You said Enoch put you on the path, Heather? Okay, yes. And like I said, there's so many people that have already done this research and have all these answers already. And they've probably made several videos, sorry y'all, in the past, but I like to go on my own journey and discover it for myself and get the knowledge. And when I am able to receive it frequency wise. And then all it does is basically just, says that, okay, well, that's confirmed. Now, if you go back and listen to some of the older teachers, then you'll perfectly understand them. But before, you really didn't grasp a lot. You just, oh, this sounds interesting and deep. You might have grasped a few things, but when you go on the journey on your own, and then you go back and listen to those teachers, you know exactly what they're talking about. You can picture the stuff. When they start naming goddesses and gods, like Bobby Hemming, if he starts naming goddesses and gods and who they're related to and what they do, I picture each goddess in my head. I know exactly what pantheon they're from. I know exactly what they look like. I know exactly what they're for. I know exactly what they're code for, so on and so forth. Because a lot of stuff that he used to say, he didn't really explain, but he would say, well, this means that. He wouldn't go into it, but I know why it meant that. You see, so I mean, you can understand something on a whole nother level that goes over a lot of people's heads. It's because you did your work. You just didn't listen to him or take notes. You went on the path yourself and got a deeper and fuller and maybe even a better understanding, since it was from your viewpoint. Sprinkle, sprinkle. What should we do to get ready? Raise your frequency as high as you can. I already made videos. Thank you, Sprinkle, sprinkle, MJ Wacom. I suggest going vegan, but y'all know not everybody gonna be able to do that. So I guess fast, maybe a couple days before that, so you can receive as much as you can and vibrate as high as you can. If you got elixirs, take my elixirs. Be happy. Be in thinking mode. Be able to receive knowledge. Keep your mind open. Don't close it. That's the best thing I can tell you. Don't close your mind. Don't have a set mind. Everything is possible. Keep that mindset. I have so much more to read, so much more to learn. When I'm drawn to it, I'll find it. This is how I work. Y'all, this is how I operate. I don't read books because they're on a list. Y'all have to understand how I operate. I don't read books because it's on a list. I read books when I want the knowledge from them, when I'm ready for the knowledge from them, when I would like the knowledge or to confirm certain things. So that's why I'm saying, someone said Bobby Hemmett was trash. He was not trash, or he's not trash. He had a lot of knowledge most people didn't understand because he talked fast. He might have used curse words, you know. But a lot of the knowledge is the true knowledge. He knew what he was talking about, and a lot of people just couldn't see past some of the language. Maybe your Dr. Delbert Blair, definitely listen to a lot of his stuff too. So, and it makes me happy when I like a lot of the older teachers, they have different styles. If people have different styles in delivering information, like right now we have like how I deliver my information. Then you have a lot of other younger teachers that deliver information totally different. Okay. But you can learn from all of them. Some people may offend you. Some people may be, too abrupt, and some people like that. So different messengers for different people. That's how I think. There's no competition. People are going to send, people are going to send you videos or suggest things, to you if they think you like that type of thing. And just because you learn in a different way doesn't mean you're not learning. Thank you, Halima. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Reading the 50th law, 50 cents is powerful. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Oh, that sounds good. It's like the laws of power. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Okay. Thank you. You studied with. There's a lot of amazing people out there, teachers and stuff like that. It just makes everything confirmed when you learn it on your own and find it on a totally different path or on a totally different, maybe in a totally different way. But that lets you know that it all checks out. Confirmed. You can just say confirmed. Right. I was watching one of his videos the other day, and I could just confirm, period. There was some curse words in there, but it was still confirmed. And I think that's also another reason why people change their style up, because, someone may have knowledge, but they're unable to receive it from certain people because they don't really, like their style of delivery. So he said he was going to cuss. How do you find out what this symbol means? You look it up. Just look up the OK symbol. It's the OK symbol. It's called the OK symbol. Or look up the alchemy hand. If you really want the deepest definition of it, look up alchemy hand and look up the symbols on the alchemy hand. Okay. Sometimes, so a lot of people will look up the basics. They'll be like, what does this mean? You'll get a basic. You'll get a couple of basics. You'll get about 3 different meanings. But when you want to go the deepest, you always go back to the source, which is alchemy. Go look up the alchemy hand and which fingers are touching. Why are these fingers touching? What's this symbol on the alchemy hand? What's this symbol on the alchemy hand? Why are they touching? What does this mean? Go deeper. Go as deep as you can go, depending on what you're searching for. Because you can research stuff, go back and research the same thing in a year later and get new knowledge. Free will is also your ability to continue your spirituality in any way you choose. Like, it doesn't have to be in a certain order. You don't have to read a certain book list. It's wherever it's a personal spiritual journey, which means wherever you choose to go with it is where you go. and it's never wrong. So that's how I do mine. So it's never wrong if it's your personal journey. It's never wrong. You might take a detour here or there, but eventually, if you keep seeking knowledge, you're going to find more and more and more. So you'll be good. Yes. Yeah, I still got the keychains on my Level Up Cosmetics store. Just type in keychains or keyring in the search on my shop. So you said the Pale King and Star. Interesting, right? And another interesting thing is, like, remember how I said this is Thriller? Well, dead people are rising to vote, obviously. They're finding ballots of registered voters who've been dead for so long. The zombie apocalypse, the zombie people rose out of the grave, y'all, to vote. Like, Thriller. It was right after Halloween too, so the dead had risen. Like, no, them people really did vote. They came to for real. The veil was thin. They got through. So I just laugh at it because I find humor in everything, and I think that's another thing spiritual people need to do: find humor in everything. Another way to look at stuff is a humorous way. Now, if it's something that's sensitive to you and you just can't find humor in it, find humor around it. You know what I'm saying? So find humor around it. Thank you, Percy. Sprinkle, sprinkle, share. Before you mentioned the word Matrix, I was going to ask you your thoughts on the powerful movie. It's full of symbolism. It opened my eyes to the system, but your thoughts, please. Thank you, Percy. Sprinkle, sprinkle. The Matrix is basically the physical world and the spiritual world going in and out at will after you awake. And like Neo can go in and out at will. Morpheus as well. They found Neo working. They contacted Neo via computer. Now, computer is code for your brain, your own mind. Okay. Morpheus is the god of dreams. So if you just decode everything, basically a dream woke him. He woke up in a dream. He woke up from his dream. And he was lucid dreaming until he got out of the Matrix and saw what everything really was and how it was all fake. And then he decided to be someone who fought against the agents who were trying to stop people from escaping the Matrix and continuing to use people's energy to keep their system alive. So it's the same thing, basically. It's just like you waking up somebody and telling them certain things, and then them waking up and taking full control of their own life and their own destiny, learning how to manifest, learning how to create the life they desire without depending on a system. But at the same time, a lot of things that you thought were true end up being false. And it's also kind of like a saddening thing. So it's kind of like you get so much knowledge, but at the same time, it's sad to see certain things go. And that's just like the book, The Murder of Reality. I think it's named The Murder of Reality because it just killed everything you thought was true. And some people, it's very devastating when everything you thought was true is false. And it's like you have to start all over in your thinking or in your beliefs. But it's an exciting rebirth. And the Matrix represents a womb. So and just like in the Emerald Tablets, when you leave here in spirit form, You are space born. You're space born out of the womb. So the matrix is just a womb until you're born somewhere else spiritually. And that while you're here, you gotta stay woke. Don't let the agents get you. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Percy. That was a good question, though. What books explain this ionosphere? Any science book? Any book on weather? Any book on cosmic, like rocket travel? If you want a spiritual book, the book of the Compendium of the Emerald Tablets, My Little Pony, the cartoon, okay, the new one. It's just so many. It's in everything. It's in pretty much everything. Mm-hmm. You can study it scientifically. And then I think you should study it scientifically first. Then you'll see it in all the ancient writings. You'll see it in TV shows. You'll see it in cartoons. You'll know what it represents when you see it, because it could be in code as well. So learn about it scientifically first. Then it'll start to reveal itself everywhere else in writings, in books, cartoons, movies, ancient writings. Mm-hmm. What is free will? Free will is when you make your own decision, not based on another person's influence, but your own research and thinking to the best of your ability. Okay. As free as it's going to get. Just like voting is also free will. You don't have to vote. B, you can write in something on a ballot. You don't have to pick between the two major candidates, or you don't have to vote at all. That's the free will. But some people were under the thinking that you have to vote because they were influenced. Some people were under the influence of you have to vote this party because they were deeper under an influence. The deeper you're under an influence, the less free will you have. So the more you're influenced, the less free will you have. The less you're influenced, the more free will you have. So you got to kind of take that into consideration. How do I feel about Dino or Kano Grills claiming he is Thoth? If you really research what Thoth is, just like a Jesus, it's not one person. It's a consciousness. It's several people. It's a type of people. It's a group of people on a certain level with certain knowledge. So if someone is claiming that they are the one and only Thoth, I would say, well, where's Jesus? Who claiming Jesus? They need to get together and start a group, because it's a consciousness. It's not one person. You can channel and study any deity, and you can attain their attributes very easily. You can do all of those things and you will be like that deity. So if he's channeling or studying Thoth to a certain degree, using his words, whatever, to me, he's what I call someone who is emulating Thoth, a Thoth figure. 10 other people can do the same thing and claim the same thing, and it would definitely be true. So Think about this. All those people on YouTube talking about, I channel Archangel Michael, or I am the Archangel Michael. Y'all know what I'm talking about? There's about 1,000 channels that's channeling the Archangel Michael. Does that mean every last one of them are the Archangel Michael? No, it means it's a consciousness and a frequency. So if you are claiming to be a person or an individual, then, and people believe you, scam on, baby. I don't want to mess with nobody's money, but like I said, everything is free will. If you believe by your own free will without doing enough actual research, and you get the okie doke done to you, hopefully you learned. So for me, I know better than that. So I was like, okay, well, then who am I going to be then? I need to, what am I going to be for Halloween? Who am I going to be today? You got to be careful, because you got people out here claiming to be certain other people who ain't even really dead yet. Oh, I pick up on the spirit of this person, but they ain't really dead. So how can you do that? So I would never claim that I picked up on the spirit of a deceased person. I would never claim that I was a deity. I would never do that. I would say, well, I like, if I get knowledge from, picking up on it, I'm going to say, well, I picked up on this, or I dreamt this, or I channeled this, or I saw this in an astral travel. I'm not going to say I am that person, or I talked to this dead person and that's not even dead. So I'm going to be saying that I have a feeling that A, B, C, and D. I would never claim to be someone or to have spoken to someone, because the mind works very different than people understand. Sometimes if someone comes into your dream, it's not them, it's their name meaning that you need to decode. Dreams talk to you in code. So if someone came to you famous, decode their name. Okay? People don't understand this. So I didn't talk to this person, and they, no, keep going. Keep doing your research. Stay out of superstition and go straight back into the knowledge. Why would this person appear in your dreams other than the fact that their name is very popular? If a random dude just showed up in your dream, you won't know his name. You can't decode it. Why this man showed up in my dream? If a man with no name shows up in your dream, he's going to be very symbolic. He's going to look like someone, or he's going to have symbols on him or a certain color on, right? Because your mind speaks to you in symbols and in code. So when you think you're talking to someone, you ain't talking to nobody but yourself, your subconscious mind. And it's trying to tell you something. So, for example, if your favorite actor, or just some actor you don't even really like, why he's showing up in my dreams? I don't even like that actor. Decode their name. Okay. Research them. That's how you communicate with yourself, your higher self, or your subconscious mind too. Okay. Don't just automatically go into the basics, this is what I call I don't like to put people down. I really don't, because I used to think when I was younger the same thing. So you just have to grow. And, people will say, oh, well, they'll take it and run with it instead of letting it, marinate. And a lot of times people just want so much recognition as, oh, I'm special. They never really think that maybe that knowledge was for you only. Maybe that knowledge was specifically to help you with something on your spiritual path. not to be shared with everybody else, and how you're even, decoding it is absolutely wrong. If it was meant for everybody to know, they would have the same dream. When you start seeing people have the same type of dream, it's a frequency. Okay? It's a frequency. And you're going to see 5 people with the same dream decoded 5 different ways. But the way that makes the most sense will probably be to decode their name. Okay? It's not that you shouldn't share knowledge, it's that your dreams that's why that people have a dream journal. Because you're trying to communicate to yourself. You teach yourself. Remember, everything you need to know is within. Whatever you're wondering about, whatever questions you've asked yourself, whatever you're having issues with, your dreams will answer you in code, and you must decode your own dreams to get your own answers. You can teach people how to do it, but because you dreamed of something or somebody, keep that to yourself for a little while. Sit with it a little while and see if it's just for you. Okay? That's why I say, don't rush to be recognized. Everyone has spiritual insight. It doesn't make you special. It just makes you more sensitive and aware. And the more you sit with it, the more you analyze it, the more you decode it, the better your spiritual senses get. But to run and go tell, you don't have time to sit with it, to think about it. You're more into it for the ego at that point. You know what I'm saying? And I have nothing against that, because it is exciting. But once you get to a certain point, you're gonna pull back a little bit. You're gonna pull back a little bit, because you're gonna realize that's not for everybody. That's for you. Mm-hmm. And if you had decoded it, as according to symbolism and names, there may be answers there or solutions there for a lot of stuff that's in your own life. Mm-hmm. That's why I say, a lot of people will come to me and say, do you think this person is really talking to this dead person, or this person is really talking? No, I don't. I think you can tap into a certain energy, into a certain frequency, and get knowledge that the dead has possessed. I do think that. Because what happens to your energy when you die? It's floating around, especially if you're not able to leave, into the out of the ionosphere up into the heavens. A lot of that energy is still around here, flowing right through your head. That's how, if you ask something like, excuse me, some dead people or ghosts come through, I need to know some knowledge. They're sitting up floating around here just like 5G, just like microwaves, and just like radio signals and radio waves. So if you want to know something, just ask, just talk. Y'all remember the story of Solomon? He had all them demons and stuff giving him information. He just talked, period. Stuff came to him. He had a frequency. Your pineal gland is your receiver. Talk. What do you want to know? You might not hear a voice, but you may be led in a certain direction. Your eyes may focus more on something than usual. Or a thought may pop into your head. But you have to trust yourself in order to do that. How do you decode celebrity names? Google. Okay. How do you decode your own name? That's how. If you wanted to know what your name meant, what steps would you take? Okay, there you go. Your brother gave you the most amazing name. Right. So that's how you find a celebrity's name, the same way. What do you mean by decode? Okay. Decode is to find a deeper meaning in something, a source meaning of something, like the symbolic meaning of something, or the etymology of something, or the source of something, or what something really means. That stuff is code for things. Like, let's say your name was Tom. Well, Tom doesn't mean Tom. It means something else. What does it mean? How will you find out? That's decoding, to go find out what Tom means. Okay. To ask questions, to look deeper, to get knowledge on a level that people don't see knowledge at. It's kind of like looking under a microscope of everything, but to get a deeper understanding of it, right? You decode all the name, the entire name. And then once you start decoding names, you'll see why certain actors get certain parts in certain movies. Okay. Everything. Who gave the meaning of names? Well, certain names are from different languages and origins. Your ancestors. There's a good path for you to start on, for your research. You see a SpongeBob. Yeah. If you want to have fun with decoding, start with names. Decode all your family members' names. Decode your name. Celebrity's name. Just go have a blast. You'll enjoy decoding if you're new to it. Then start decoding symbols. Keep going until you're addicted. Decode numbers. Decode whatever you can decode. You can pretty much decode everything. You'll see. I always just do like spiritual meaning of, biblical meaning of, etymology of, that means the origin of the actual word. Like if you're trying to decode a word, you need to decode the etymology. That means what it really means, what it first meant in the first place before it means what it means now. Right. Thank you for helping so many people on their journeys. I always see 777 when I'm out in the chat. Yep, that means to go look it up. Whenever you start seeing something and it's grabbing your attention, it's trying to get you to look deeper. And if you don't, then you're going to keep seeing it until you start doing your research and looking deeper. It's kind of like that glitch in the matrix, or when something is like trying to get your attention to go research it. Ashir probably think I'm a crazy stalker weirdo type, but I promise I'm not. I'm super chill. It's just not a lot of people that think like this around me. I know, believe me, I know. Sprinkle, thank you. I don't think you're crazy. I think of a bunch of people that thought the same way that a lot of us think and hear, got together in one place. We have our own secret society. Like, and a lot of people don't realize that a lot of people who do think this way have gotten together, but they can't work out in the open. They have to work undercover. And a lot of people don't put one and two together. Well, why did they hide everything? Why? Because Okay, so here, let me just break it down to you all the way. The people that own media, a lot of people that own the media can influence the masses. So you can't be out in the open saying all this stuff, because if they don't like you and what you're saying because you're messing up their games, they can put out a fake story about you. They can create lies and spin it. They can ruin your reputation. They can cause people to want to physically harm you. Da, da, da. So a lot of people don't sit there and just think about it long enough to understand why certain people do certain things. They only think about it for a fraction of a second and take that as well, that doesn't make sense because A, B, C, and D. Well, if you thought about it for longer than 2 seconds, maybe it would start to make sense. So sit with something before you start. That don't make sense. Ask yourself why. Just like the Michael Jackson song, why? Keep asking why until there's no more whys. Well, why would they do that? Don't ask me, ask yourself, and then go research why. Okay? And you'll come to it. You'll see. Mhm. A lot of people say, well, why would Michael Jackson fake his death? And why would he be in the White House? Well, think about it for a little while. Think about it. That doesn't make sense. Not yet. Keep thinking. It doesn't make sense because no one told you what to think. So now you got to actually sit there and think. So sit there and think about it. Put yourself in someone else's shoes and ask yourself, what would you do? Okay. And in order to do that, this is the same thing as how people work with deities. It's the same thing as working with a deity. You don't worship a deity. You learn about them. You understand what they represent. You understand their aspects, their knowledge, and basically you emulate them or walk in their shoes to become on their same frequency level. So if you want to fully understand someone and answer these questions, you must walk in their shoes mentally. Okay. So before you start to say that doesn't make sense, you got to walk in their shoes. You got to walk in people's shoes. Just like on the show, Lovecraft Country. Got to walk in other people's shoes to understand certain things. You could never understand something from your own perspective until you put yourself into another person's perspective. Now, when people say work with deities, deities represent thoughts, okay, ideas, energies, okay. When you get to a certain point, you'll understand it's not what most people think it is. Right. It's tapping into a frequency. That's all it is. So I'll give you a good example. It's kind of like you got Netflix. Okay. Each movie or documentary would represent a deity, and your level of understanding about that deity and how you perceive things will change once you watch a certain documentary. Okay. This is why the entertainment industry is so important. It's the frequency that you are on and the knowledge that you receive and what you do with that knowledge. That's how you work with, quote unquote, a deity. The energy works with manifest work, not like instantly, but watch it work, right? So So you got to understand that it's not an actual being that's judging you or granting you wishes. It's you tapping into that frequency and evolving and using the same traits and aspects and knowledge and information as that deity represents. Okay. Cinda said, "Do I got a man? No, but I got a cash app. I have a husband, but I got a cash app too. If you want to donate, I take cash as compliments. Make sure I put all the letters up in there. There we go. Compliment me in cash. Thank you. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Is there aliens in the universe, or are we alone? We are the aliens, baby. Read the Emerald Tablets. There are several dimensions and also several forms that energies take that are not able to be seen unless they choose to be seen. So think about it like that. Mm-hmm. So an alien can be a particle. If that particle is conscious and it's gathering information, that's alien form. If it came from the cosmos. So we gotta get out of thinking that it's a physical thing that looks just similar to us on, except for the face. That ain't no alien. That's a humanoid still. Aliens are anything that comes from the cosmos. Thank you, Cryptonomics. Sprinkle, sprinkle. See, somebody got that message. Appreciate that. Half the life on Earth is alien. Or no, most of the life on Earth is alien. It's just that been here so long you forgot. Or it got here before you and da da da. Means some new alien life form, new alien particles. Or are they advanced humans with advanced technology that they don't tell you about? So that they can continue to influence certain people. If I were human and I wanted to experience what it would be like to be a physical deity or a physical god of some sort, I would either go into politics or science or the medical industry, which is where a lot of the elite invest. Because you have massive influence there. So gotta understand people's motives. People want to be a deity so bad they'll trick you to feel like a deity. That ain't no deity though. It's a trickster. So a true deity would never reveal, like a true deity is simply a frequency within. It doesn't need a form. Okay. A true deity does not need a form. That's why they say don't worship false idols. Don't worship this, don't worship that, because they don't need a form. If a deity wanted to reveal themselves, they would reveal themselves to you within. Right? So for example, you know how you see all them crackheads and like people that have been like in rehab and they say, I had a spiritual awakening or I found Jesus or whatnot. Okay, they didn't literally find a man walking around in a robe named Jesus. They didn't literally have a spiritual, awakening with some guru standing in front of them. It was a frequency, it was a change of perspective. It was a wave of energy and knowledge. It was an awakening. So that's all it is. It's not an actual being or a person. So you might want to personify it. People want to personify it, but it doesn't mean that's real. It don't mean it's real. So people personify cars in cartoons all the time. It doesn't mean that there's really cars out here with blinking eyeballs and teeth. See? So to personify something is to give it a way to remind you, but then you're missing the entire point once you create an outer version of it, because then you start to focus on the outer and not the inner. Now you're no longer using your intuition or able to even pick up on the frequency of said deity. Now it's become a statue. Like Kanye said, he was chasing a gold statue. Okay, now you start to talk to the statue. Hey, statue, how you doing? You start rubbing oils on the statue, hoping that the statue picks up the frequency of the deity. But at the same time, you have a pineal gland right here waiting. So it's supposed to all be within. And I think once people realize that, they're thankful for all the stuff that they learned from and graduated from and leveled up from, upgraded from. And they can fully understand that deity now because it's within them already. Now, if you like artwork, wonderful. If you like someone's personification of what they felt that deity was like, think of it like that, but don't ever look at it as if this is the deity or this holds the deity's energy. You hold it. Spirits of jinns. Sure, so do you have free will, yet nothing is coincidence? You have more free will. I'll say this, you have more free will if you're a thinker rather than a follower. So if you had a trillion gazillion choices, that pretty much seems like free will versus two choices, right? So if you had to compare two choices versus a gazillion choices, which one is seeming like free will? That's what I'm saying. So there's no way that you're going to make a gazillion choices in your lifetime. So that would represent your free will. There you go. Y'all are silly. Ashir, I saw one of your earlier videos of how much weight you lost. Precisely impressive stuff. Thank you, Cindy. I don't really keep track of the number, but I probably a lot. So I don't know. I think it was when I just ate less, worked out, and then I became vegan after a while. So. What can we use the Bible for? Decoding it. And see, okay, here's another thing. A lot of stuff, this makes me kind of upset because a lot of stuff that these evil, I'll call them evil so that you can understand what I'm saying, that these evil satanic, pedophile people do. A lot of stuff that they're doing is code, but they do it as literal. So a lot of people are doing stuff literally, I don't know why, knowing that it's code. It's like a blasphemy almost. It's like, this is code. Why are you doing this literally? Will the Bible say, or the Torah says, or the Talmud says? So they can use that as the excuse because their religion permits it. So they're using their coded religion to literally exonerate them for thinking that they're doing wrong when it's code for something. You see how they're trying to show you how code can be misused as well. Code can also be misused when taken literally. So, for example, if you're reading something in the Bible and it says to kill something, it doesn't mean to physically go up there and stab them and kill them. It means to end their frequency by overtaking it with your own, which means reproducing with them. Thank you, Percy. Sure, I have to ask you this question. My brother battled a drug addiction for years, but he was killed in a car crash a year ago. Is he finally at peace? I would say, most times people drug addiction is because they're searching for something that they can't find. And a lot of answers come in the spiritual realm. So he probably is at peace, and you can also still learn. Sorry by the way that happened. But he can also learn in the spiritual realm as well. So he's probably learning a lot as well. And I think most people are free once they get certain answers that they weren't aware of. Yeah. So when the Bible says to kill this person or kill, like, how in the Bible says, kill your son. They was talking to, who's that? Abraham. I don't know, somebody. It doesn't mean to literally go and stab them. It means to get rid of that frequency, marry him off to someone to get rid of his frequency. It means to mix the race to get rid of a certain frequency. It means to mix to get rid of a certain race. That's what it means. And so then when it says like sacrifice a child is the youngest type of people on the planet. What, so it doesn't mean to kill a child. It means to take the youngest race on the planet and change it into the older race. And you would be sacrificing that creation in order to replace it with a different type of person. That's all it means. But people keep taking it literally so that they can do these things and excuse it. Well, the Bible did this and the Bible did that. No, that was code. So it's a sneaky way to do foul things under the guise of religion. And it's also it's a way to hate. It's a way to hate. It's a way to hate and throw stuff in people's face. And it's a way to defile the knowledge, the ancient knowledge, because the Bible is not just the Bible. It's ancient texts from Sumeria, Egypt, Atlantis, and all that stuff rewritten with different names. So it's a way to defile and make fun of and exploit the changing of the frequency. You said killing in the name of God, right? That means killing in the name of God means a melanated person making a child with a less melanated person. That's what it means. But this is how they created all this violence in the world, by taking away the knowledge on how to decode. And now you literally have people killing in the name of God because someone didn't follow a commandment, which was also in code. So you have people living, they would say, literal. You have people literally interpreting the code, and it's blasphemous, I'll say. I think it's sad, but if everyone learned what their holy book really said, they would not even have most of their culture or customs. Most cultures and customs are misinterpreted knowledge. You know how, like, if you've watched some of those documentaries that go to these little small villages, and they have these weird customs based on their environment, like just something that they thought but wasn't true, like, and they based a whole system around it, like I don't know, they thought God came from a cactus or something stupid like that, so they wear cactuses on their head and drink cactus juice, and I don't know, something like that, just something totally crazy, right? And their whole culture and laws and stuff were, revolved around that because of a carving they saw or something, I don't know. But this is how most religions have developed, because of the misinterpretation of the coded information. So, like, if whatever you can think of, like, it's misinterpreted, especially in, like, the religions that say to cover your head or to cover your body. That's don't mean with no cloth. Okay. So does it mean to literally cover yourself with clothing? It means to cover yourself with melanin. And so you have people walking around in a lot of different, clothes and scarves and head covered, but they don't realize it means you need some melanin. Because back in the old days, in certain countries, they didn't wear that stuff until somebody got a hold of the knowledge and put it into their culture literally. The cross is not two sticks that Jesus died on. It's the ionosphere. When you're trying to cross and you ain't got enough melanin, and you get obliterated like that rocket ship that gets coated with melanin. This is just your particles not being stuck on the cross, being stuck in the ionosphere. So, a lot of people wear a cross on their neck representing Jesus, who got stuck on a cross. He died on the cross. Okay, he died trying to get out of the ionosphere. Did he make it? Yeah, because he came back and reincarnated. And when they say the word died, it means that ionosphere just took up all your melanin, all your cash. Right? Because that's what it takes when you go through it. That's why you got to have some. It's like the toll. And so when you decide to come back, when you decide to reincarnate, now this is in the Emerald Tablets. Depending on who's stuck where and the different layers as particles, your energy would move through them. Like, and gather energies and particles. Like, oh, I need some of this, I need some of that. So whoever is stuck on the wall on the way up, you could grab some as you go down. All right, there you go. Just read the Emerald Tablets. It'll just keep reading them over and over until you fully understand, because it talks a lot about the ionosphere. I have a cult. No, I don't. But that's why the KKK burns crosses in black people's yards. Because they mad. Because they can't cross. Y'all remember in the old days when they used to burn crosses in your yard, in black people's yard, in the old days, on whatnot, whatever. It's the burning cross. It means you can't go, you get burnt up. That's why their symbol is a cross. It's not because it means I'm Christian or Jesus or whatever. It means cross. They can't cross, so they mad. What do you think about ghosts as people that got stuck? Well, I think it's also a spiritual. I think it's a spiritual thing that you have to learn in the spirit realm. So when you do get another chance to reincarnate, if you get another chance to reincarnate, you can take that knowledge with you and let it guide you and lead you to how to escape that in the next lifetime. Basically, go in the right direction. I'm what? A synesthesis. What do I think of synthiates? I don't even know what that is. I'm one of them. I have chromatid. I don't even know what none of that stuff is. Job. Okay, I find it interesting that most people don't see colors when hearing music. Oh, okay, so that's what it is. Okay. Me having such a broad imagination, I can do that anyway. I can do that at will. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know there was a name for it, but hey. I think it's just a way to tap into your imagination, because an imagination is not something fictional. It's how you create. It's like your internal television. It's like your internal animation board. So yeah, I think a lot of people can do that, but they don't really try. But that's cool. I'm sorry I couldn't pronounce that. All y'all women need to go back to the beauty manufacturer line so y'all can come back looking like Lee. Why don't you give them some cash apps then, so they can go buy some stuff. Actually, yeah, y'all go cash app them and tell them to go to Level Up Cosmetics. This is 40% off. You can get your eyeshadow, you can get your powders, you can get shameless plug time. You can get your lipsticks. This is in the color Charmer. Yes. Y'all put y'all cash apps up. Donate to them. Man. You want them to look good. Gotta pay. Beauty is not free, baby. All right. Just getting that out of the way. Do you think do the black celebrities who take people up with them have to come back and start over because they lose their melanin at the ionosphere? That's kind of what I got from this movie. When Michael Jackson went up the stairs in the video Smooth Criminal and the lady took his wallet, that was his melanin. His wallet represents his melanin in order to get up to the higher level. And so when he got up to the higher level, then you have that fight scene. He's chilling with these women, flirting, whatever. And then here comes the Lucifer character, like the battle in heaven, and then Michael versus, Archangel Michael versus Lucifer. And, he defeats Lucifer, and then Lucifer turns into a shadow on a brick wall. So he's stuck on a wall. And then after shooting or killing the melanated Lucifer character, who's now stuck on a wall, Michael has now the melanin to come back down the staircase onto Earth. And then if you remember, he starts throwing all his money. When he gets on the stage, he starts throwing all his money, like, sharing the melanin, because he got some back on the way back down. And then once he started sharing the money and the melanin, everyone started to dance in sync, which means a frequency. Everyone started to dance in sync with him as if it was all one consciousness. And so y'all got to really watch the video. It's very interesting. Yeah, every advertisement, every commercial has code in it. They're trying to tell people, but people aren't awake enough to see it. You'll see a commercial 50 times and won't really understand what they're telling you. But if you start to decode, the first time you see it, you'll understand it perfectly. Maybe the second time, So you'll start to see. Notice certain things. Listen to the music in the background. Look at the symbols. Look at the people and the actors playing certain roles. Do these artists do these things in their videos subconsciously? No, they have directors. Like let's say I'm a new artist and I have no idea about all this. I got a crash course. I watched a few videos. I know what code means and what it can do, okay, but I'm not an expert on it. They will hire a director to direct your video, to tell you what to wear, A, B, C, and D. And then you'll start to learn more and more to where you'll understand why the director wants this here and this scene there and this type of animal in your video. You'll start to understand it the more you learn. And then once you get higher up in your knowledge, you'll be able to start directing your own videos with your code and whatnot. But until you are fully aware of this knowledge, you kind of got to trust people, which is not a good thing. That's why you always need someone that has this knowledge on your team to tell you, oh, they're setting you up or they're making you this, or So that's why you should study a lot before you trust people with your image. It's very important. You said, ain't that art? It is art, but art is symbolic because there's code in it. They've been telling us in the movies and videos. Wow, deep. Yeah, they've been telling you forever. And this is why they can morally sleep at night, because we put all the information there and we just waiting on them to wake up. Maybe one day they'll get it. Maybe not. All the knowledge is available. If they want it, it's there. Da, da, da. Oh, but then there's also the trickster, the distractor, the temptation to keep you from the knowledge. It's very much like biblical stories. It's like, okay, well, here's all the knowledge, here's all the goodness, here's all the knowledge, and whatever. Oh, here's the temptation, here's the bad things. Do what you want. And so if you're not on a mission or on a journey to seek the knowledge, you're going to easily be distracted. You can always come back to the knowledge. You might take a detour. You might get distracted. You might get caught up, whatever. But it's all there, and it's all free will. But then you have some people that never seek the knowledge. And this is where that flood comes in. This flood. That flood is about to come in. This is where that flood comes in, like a Noah's Ark. And I'm not talking about a literal flood. I'm not talking about water. I'm talking about knowledge. I'm talking about a frequency that's coming in. And it's a flood of a frequency. And all those dumb people that were not doing their due diligence and just partying and twerking in the street and doing all kind of crazy stuff. And they say they were drowned in the flood. It doesn't, like, if the flood is not water, how would you get drowned by a frequency? A frequency would overtake you. Think of coronavirus. Well, how does coronavirus work? Does it literally drown you? And it comes from a frequency. So the coronavirus, the sun, corona, sun, the crown, virus, is represents the drowning in the flood. So a flood of frequency comes in and causes what I call radiation pneumonia. Pneumonia symptoms caused by radiation from 5G, from the sun, from whatever. And then mucus grows in your lungs and you literally drown. So that's the flood. And it comes from people who have, a lot of people that get it have underlying conditions and poor eating habits and poor health, which means they were gluttonous and overindulged. But there was also warnings before that. People were like trying to promote health, veganism, da 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 da. They even tried to scare people and close down certain meat plants, like the pork plants or whatnot. They took meat off the shelves and it looked very scarce. People are still trying to get it. Okay, so it's always going to be free will. And an ark is not a boat. Okay. An ark is this: a covering, a block, a frequency. It's like a rainbow, arcs, which is a spectrum or a frequency. So if your frequency is high, you got an arc. If your frequency is low, you're going to get flooded. And a lot of people are getting flooded as they release this 5G. like on that commercial where the girl turns on her phone, and then that massive wave of energy goes out into the world, goes whoosh. You've never experienced 5G this powerful before. That's the flood. That's the frequency. That's the radiation. That's causing corona. And if your frequency is not high enough, you're eating improper food and you have all these bad health issues because you aren't living according to, balance, you might get affected. Right. What demons are evil? Anyone that makes you unbalanced. And there's no good or evil, there's only balance, right? It's like, let's say you have a scale, sorry. One side is lower than the other. You need to get back balanced. So you got to change your ways. You got to change something in order to get the balance back. So whatever you need to get the balance back, that's what you got to do, basically. Mm-hmm. You have free will. And also, you know how they have the 7 deadly sins? All those things are just basically represent imbalance. Okay? All that just creates an imbalance. So if you go down the list of the 7 deadly sins, there's a way to balance all of that stuff. But most people overindulge, which is why they have issues. Their scale is tipped too far to one side, and that's where the problem is. Okay. Issues with anxiety and motivation since my sister died. I literally have no passion for my career anymore. Can't seem to get out of the rut. Well, what's your career? Do you like your career? Did you ever really like your career? Maybe it's time for a different career. Sometimes people face their mortality and realize they need to be doing something totally different. Maybe you need a new passion, Calendaria, sprinkle, Calandra. I'm trying to pronounce your name like a calendar. Thank you, Calandra. Sprinkle. Do I believe some people are born evil? Thank you, by the way. I think some people are born with knowledge in their DNA. And I think a lot of people are influenced by the frequencies around them, depending on the frequency in which they are born. It's all science. So let's say a child were to be born today in this world. They got 5G running everywhere. They got to go through the vaccines. They have fake news, So all this influence, all this frequency, all this stuff is going to mold this child. Unless you can step in and teach that child how to balance it all. So if you're unbalanced and a child is evil, it's simply a reflection of your imbalance as a parent, first and foremost. Because they're only going to learn from their environment. People think I'm evil, but I was born during the 1993 flood. All memory, in fact, basically destructive frequency to switch that shift. Why do they think you're evil? Do you do bad things? I think we get an idea in our head and a perspective in our head because some people think a flood is destruction, but it could also be a cleansing. It just depends on how you view it. So, like I said, it's all about your frequency and your perspective. So if people are saying you was born in a flood and it was destructive and you're evil, if that's the perspective you choose free willingly to live by, then that's your perspective and that's what you choose to live by. If someone says, oh, you were born in the flood of such and such, it was like such a cleansing thing to the earth, even though, in order to clean something, you have to, sweep up stuff first in order to mop. You would see it totally different. You would feel more pure and cleansed. So it just depends on who's giving you your perspective and if you're accepting that or not. Right. The Nile had to flood. The Nile represents the Kundalini. How to respond to peer pressure. I don't have peers. That's how you respond, as if there were no peers. Do what you're going to do anyway. If people are peer pressuring you to do something, why? Because you haven't done it yet? Because they've already done it? And now they want you to be in the same shoe, in the same boat with them? Do the opposite. I was never really peer pressured. I'd be like, y'all go ahead. I'll see y'all later. Bye. Go do what y'all gotta do. Crackheads. Then you look at them today and they look terrible. Okay, they made some terrible choices. And it was because I did not, concede under peer pressure. But I took a totally different path. Like one decision can take your life into a whole nother path. You could have been like, oh, here, do these drugs, here, smoke this crack, here, smoke this weed, here, sleep with this dusty dude. Oh, here, you could be in a whole different lifestyle if you had said yes versus saying no. No, thank you. I'm better than that. If you have trouble saying no to peer pressure, just act bougie. No, I'm better than that. There you go. How to not let Karen's low vibration influence you with their ignorance, comments, remarks. Don't read them. Read through them. Don't take them literally. Read through them. That's how I do it. Like anyone's negative comment is a secret compliment. Thank you, Alana Sprinkle. Did you see the Chris Brown sent to tell your people you love them warning? Yeah. Yep, Sprinkle. I saw that. That's code too. If words represent frequency, or you melanin, then what would tell me? Give your people that you love them. Love also represents what? The highest frequency. So give your people the highest frequency. Lift your people to the highest frequency. Give them what they need. There you go. On Instagram. He said that on Instagram. I saw that. So it's like, tell your people you love them. Give them what they need right now. To give them truth, wisdom, whatever. Because this, stuff's finna get extra real. It's finna flood with the frequency. Thank you, Lee. Sprinkle, sprinkle. I appreciate that. Thank you. You know that Beyonce song? I'm about to flood on them, flood on a sinner. And then, it doesn't literally mean water. It means this frequency. Got my cup up to the heavens. Another night I won't remember. Move forever. They're playing chess, like on a giant chessboard. Go watch that video. And, celebrities play roles. They're not deities. They play roles. They're entertainers. They're there to capture your attention, but not to be your free will. It's like a dream. It's just like a dream. When you have a dream and you see a celebrity in your dream, do you worship that celebrity? Do you do what they tell you to do? Or do you have your own mind in your dream? Do you make decisions based on what you feel is right? Yeah. You are less influenced in your dreams than you are in this world. That's sad. Think about this. You are less influenced when you are asleep at night in your little baby dream, slob coming all out on your pillow. You have more free will and free thought in your dream than you do in the waking world, which is sad. The point you have to get to is to have the same or even more amount of free will and less influence in this world. Because whenever someone comes to you in a dream and trying to offer you something or push you to do something, you are skeptical. Why? Because that's your true mind there. That's your true intuition trying to tell you something. Look, don't do that. It's a trick. It's a trap. But then when you wake up and the same exact thing happens, okie doke. It's like you become dumb when you wake up and smart when you go to sleep, which is supposed to be the opposite. So try to live life like you live in your dream, without allowing external things to influence you on a certain level. Okay? Just because a celebrity is in your dream does not mean you're going to trust them. You're always, think about this, when you're dreaming, you always sus. You're like, I don't know about all that. Why? Why are you so reluctant to obey, follow instruction, and fall in line in your dreams? Because that's the real essence of yourself. But as soon as you wake up and you get on social media, you watch TV, you turn on commercials, you drive down the street and see billboards, all that is to influence you and to take that voice away from you and to take you in the direction that whatever choice you make takes you based on that influence. Thank you, Mandy. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Thank you for guidance. So grateful. For the YouTube algorithm, love your influences and prices. Oh, thank you, girl. I appreciate it. Sprinkle, sprinkle. So as soon as you wake up, what do? What's on my phone? What's on Instagram? As soon as you click on Instagram or whatever, ooh, what's this? Level Up Cosmetics? I do need some new lipstick. So now you on their site buying lipstick. Okay. Ooh, I love the way that look on her lips. Look at that. I need that lipstick in my life. And you click on that. And before you know it, you forgot that you were supposed to be doing something. What am I going to do? What am I supposed to be doing? Oh, I'm supposed to be getting ready to go somewhere. Okay. Then you go to the bathroom like, ooh, what's this Michael Jackson video? Ooh, I like that. Let me see the comment. You're getting distracted. You're getting pulled away. And then you say, you know what? If I don't put this phone down, I'm never going to finish my hair or my makeup or whatever. So you put the phone down, you get dressed. Whew. And then you be like, I don't know what to wear. Let me see if I can find some ideas on Pinterest. See what I can wear today. Ooh, that looks cute. So you're not making major decisions. You're allowing influence to make your decision. Thank you, Incog B, Sprinkle Sprinkle, who wrote the religious books. They came from ancient texts like Sumeria and ancient Kemet. They just were reworded, names changed, and plagiarized, basically. What did you do different to make yourself remember the dreams? I'm conscious in my dream because I'm very aware in my real life. When you become more conscious and aware and start decoding stuff in real life, you'll be able to do the same thing in your dreams. So also my elixirs on my Etsy store will also help you raise your frequency and, thirst for knowledge in order to get on this path and, have a feeling of well-being and higher frequency. But the more you're able to interpret this life, the easier you can navigate the dream world and remember stuff. And also you can learn there. It becomes a school at a certain point. Just like you're learning here, you can go learn there. That's the astral realm, the dream world, wherever you end up. You can tell it's a dream if it's very surreal, but if it's very realistic, mostly an astral travel. So start living your life in a certain way, and your dreams will also reflect that, or your ability to astral travel. Because I can remember my dreams, I can decode while I'm dreaming what I'm dreaming about, and I can make decisions and gather information and get knowledge in my dream. That's what it is. It's just like the Avatar movie. When the Avatar dude went to sleep, he would get up, do research, get knowledge and information from, his superiors or whatnot. Then he would go back to sleep and wake up in the other world and gather information there. He would be going back and forth like a double agent. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. There's a lot of double agents here, and they're giving information from this side to that side. And that's why a lot of stuff is getting ready to change. And a lot of people are getting found out about stuff because people can do this now. Okay. Like they can go and actually get knowledge from people and get secrets and get the okie doke, because I can do it. I'm telling you. And this is something that I understand, because what's really about to go down has been in the works. People have been undercover in the works for a long time to make sure this thing happens correctly. And there are a lot of people that are working on this that you've canceled, that you've thrown under the bus, that you've been emotional over, and they're actually really on your team, or helping you. But you don't understand, but it's okay. They don't expect you to. They're more concerned about the end results. So they don't mind. They already understand why you don't understand, and it's okay because it's still going to get done. And it's better if you don't understand because you can't spoil it. You know, understand what I'm saying? It's better if you don't understand because you can't spoil it. You can't go talk about it. You can't give it away. You can't, you know, you're not going to mess up the plans. So, you know, I gave a little spoiler alert, but it's so far off. People in the masses are not going to just hop on board to believe it. So, you know, you can kind of see like a little snippet of it by what I kind of showed you guys. But with the whole mask thing and the prosthetics and things like that, you can kind of see a glimpse of it, but it goes way deeper than that. And there's people that are doing certain things that you have no idea about, that you have canceled, talked trash about, but are still working for you. And it's okay because that's a thankless job, which is part of redemption on their behalf. And they understand this, and they take the job so that you don't have to put up with certain things anymore. I'll just say that. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to go deeper into the matrix and see all the ugliness. They do it for you. Okay? Just understand that. Shira, I want to be a performer and I will need to dance in tight clothes. What do you think? Is it the lifestyle of a level up woman? If you have the body for it, I don't see nothing wrong with it. Shoot, do your dance. Get your Michael Jackson on. Mm-hmm. I was in your dream last week. I was with you, and behind us, there was a person full of light around them. And you told me to come on while I was surprised and scared of it at the same time. Did you go? um Well, look up the name meaning Ashira. There you go. It ain't me, it's the name. It's always going to be the name. Mm-hmm. I have had reoccurring dreams since childhood about whales. Look up whales. You said strip clubs are low vibrational. Watch out. Don't work there. What? Did she say she was going to be working at a strip club? Mm-hmm. Anyway, sprinkle, right? You was listening to me while driving on the highway when two tires flew off the back of a truck. One came straight to my windshield, but I turned left and didn't hit me. You were talking about time hadn't run out. Ooh, that's interesting. Sprinkle. And a wheel, two wheels were coming towards you. Interesting. And you swerved to the left. And I said, time had not run out. Rewind. You rewound, basically. You know, like clockwise is to the right, left is counterclockwise. Rewind. Time ain't running out. You rewound time, avoided those wheels. Mm-hmm. That was cool. What do you mean by okie doke? Trick. It means you've been tricked and fooled. When someone says you fell for the okie doke, that means you fell for the lie, the trick, the scam. Okay. It's just another word for that. Specific scents, like smells, show up in your dream. What if it doesn't happen all the time? Then it means that you're now literally having a fourth dimensional dream or an astral travel. Thank you, Incog B, Sprinkle Sprinkle, Cold Queen. That's happened to me before. I smelled a cigar once and like somebody, you know, it could be also what's that? It's like a psychic ability where you can smell stuff if you're awake. But if you're asleep in a dream, you can smell something or taste something. It's like a fourth dimensional. Mm-hmm. One time I had a visitor and I talked about it in one of my videos because there was a message to give to whoever person. And I have been visiting a lot of cemeteries during that time. So I gave the message, and someone actually in the comments said, "That's my aunt. She just died a little while, you know, she died recently, and that's, you just described her." And the information that she gave me made perfect sense. I was like, okay. But I did not make a habit of doing that. It was just that one time that happened. And so it was very pronounced. So I knew that the message was to be given over, not to be interpreted. Because it was nothing to do with me. I can understand that. But plus, I've been walking through the cemetery. um, Sure, I'm gonna win $10,000 in 2020. Good for you. I've seen Paris Jackson do songs. Yeah. Do I like green peppers? I like jalapenos, serrano peppers, Thai peppers, bell peppers, cayenne peppers. Yeah, I'm from the South. Can I lucid dream on command? I think the best way to do that is to try to learn something, and then it can start easier. Like when you go to sleep, if you're trying to learn in your dream and gather knowledge, it's easier to break into the lucid dreaming aspect. Thank you, Miss A. Sprinkle Sprinkle. Hi, Shira. I'm able to control the characters in my dream. I think something that they do it instantly. Yeah, that's lucid dreaming. I love it, but what does it mean, and how does it relate to wakeful world? When I first lucid dreamed, and thank you for the donation, by the way, it made me feel as if I could control this world with my thoughts, which is true, except it doesn't happen as fast. It takes a little longer, but it still happens in some form or fashion. So, whereas for in the dream world, it's instantaneous because time doesn't exist there. But since time exists here, or we have accepted that time exists here, we have to wait for stuff to happen. So it just means you're able to do that here as well. But you're going to be under the time. I'm glad y'all are decoding. Just keep going. It'll take you to a whole new level. Yeah, I've astral projected. I'm telling y'all, it's the more knowledge you gain, the more stuff you try, the easier it gets, especially now that this frequency is in. It's going to get easier and easier. So if you ever trying to astral project, or do it now, start doing it now, because the frequency is going to allow you to do it much easier. You're already there, yay. What does low frequency feel like? Low frequency. Low vibrations. High vibrations feel like well-being, high energized. Low vibration feels drained, low energy, melancholy, depressed, stuff like that. So that's the difference. What's your opinion on outer body experiences? I feel like I had one the other day. Well, most people do have them, and most people just don't remember them. Go back to ancient Kemet. There's lots of drawings and carvings on that. Read the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. That's all they talk about. Can't it be drying? Like you feel like your skin is drying? Yeah, that's the 5G, girl. Put some lotion on. Y'all see me put lotion on over here. Shout out to Positive Intent Beauty. Yes, the 5G will zap that water. Moisturize. Remember, I don't know if you're new to my channel, but remember I was telling you guys that it was going to cause deoxygenation to your cells, which basically it's removing the water, which stores oxygen out of your cells, and they were going to damage your DNA. So you need to stay hydrated and get your frequency up as much as possible. Thank you, Haitian Gal. Sprinkle, sprinkle. I dreamed about nails going through Trump's and Biden's head. I couldn't decode it well. Nails have many meanings. What kind of nails? Like fingernails or metal nails? Spikes, nails. Spikes, if they were like metal nails, represent a frequency. Like a crown of thorns, a frequency. I was trying to, thank you, best show pole dancer. I was trying to stay woke one night, and when I fell asleep, I tried to wake back up, and I felt like I was in the air. I had to allow myself to fall back. Yeah, because, the different aspects of your spirit, your soul, they leave your body. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Yeah, because y'all have a lot of people are getting dehydrated because there's all this 5G stuff going around. You got to keep hydrated. I have to drink water. Every time y'all see me on here, I got to drink. I have to take 2 drinks. I have water. And if I'm drinking like coffee or tea, I have that. But everywhere I go, I got a drink in my hand. Not like alcohol, but like water or a tea or something like that. I always have this is in my car when I go pick up my kids. This is my car in the morning. This is on my nightstand, some type of cup. But I always have water, always. And I always moisturize Mhm. Because if you're constantly being like, the 5G phones now, I got the computer, the TV's on, everything works through modems. Everybody around me probably doing this exact same thing. So you have all this radiation flowing through you, and like microwave radiations take moisture every time, so you have to stay moisturized. I don't drink anymore. I stopped drinking 2 years ago. Thank you, Adele's Electric Rays. Have you ever had a dream that has white binding light and hurts to open your eyes? I'm assuming this light is the stay away light. Yeah. I have had dreams about bright lights, but it didn't hurt my eyes. If it's hurting your eyes, it represents hurting your skin, because eyes represent your skin. In a dream, eyes represent your skin, because your skin absorbs the light like an eye. Okay, so if the light hurt your eye, the light hurting your skin, that's the UVB radiation. That's the it's someone says EMF, radiation absorption. Yeah, moisturize, drink water, girl. It's mm-hmm. You used astral travel to see your friend? Do I believe in crystals? Yes, crystals exist. Do I believe that they work? It's science. I don't have to believe. Yeah, it's just science. Can you, right? Y'all, science and spirituality has been separated. They were never separated to begin with. So yes. Yeah, whatever they're used for, you can use them for. It's the science of it. Thank you, Lee. Can you fall in love with someone you have never met? Ashura, I did. I'm in love with you. Why, thank you, Sprinkle. I appreciate that. Well, I appreciate you being in love with me, because let me fix my hair. People are laughing at you, but you're so bold and courageous. So Sprinkle, you spoke your truth. Hey, not many people can do that. All right. You was wondering why you so thirsty? Yeah, because all that radiation. Mm-hmm. What if we're all angels of each other? Well, depending on how you're going to decode that, angels mean something. If you read that book that I'll keep telling you guys about, The Murder of Reality by Pierre Sabec, it decodes angels, demons, jinn, all that, with etymology and the occult and all these secret societies. But you still have to know some type of code to even understand what they're saying. Any crystal recommendation for radiation? Pretty much any crystal, but definitely any type of giant quartz crystal, any type of this one right here. Malachite. This one's pretty good. Selenite. This one's pretty good. This is shaped like a fish. Then I have this giant labradorite. This is good for astral travel. Yeah. So these are good. I always have these around when I have a lot of stuff going on. They absorb. I have a pyrite that's shaped like a heart. It's in the kitchen though, but that's also good to wear to allow your energy to flow in a good direction when you're walking around. What book? Oh, I'm just going to promote this real quick because this book tells you all about the crystals and stones you can use to stay well in 5G. It's by Roz Ben. You just go to rozben.com or whatever and get this book. And it gives you all the crystals and stones you can wear to combat certain things and how to get your energy to flow with certain stones with 5G, A, B, C, and D. It has pictures and everything. So y'all probably saw me advertise this book earlier in the year. So it shows you like all your energy PowerPoints, how you can get your energy to flow with certain stones and blah, 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 blah. And show you all the energy that's flowing around us constantly without 5G. Then you go ahead and add 5G and you have way more than this. So you're walking through a literal field. You're walking through a literal field of energy every single day of your life. This is what you walk through every day. This is you. Hi. Look, I'm reading to my kindergarten students, like, you know how the teacher shows the book. Hi. So this is you. And depending on your frequency, also determines whether you're well, ill, balanced, energized, oxygenated, all that. And so this book will give you the stones that you need to wear in order to keep your energy flowing without being interrupted. Because like in ancient Atlantis, they had this free-flowing energy. And that's why they all had crystals and wore stones, because that would, you know, give you like a force field of some sort. Yeah. So yeah, it's Roz Ben. Just go find his website. He sells books on his website. He also is on Instagram and probably has some videos up on YouTube. I'm very sure. I did an interview with him earlier this year. You can probably find it on my conversations playlist. So yeah, good book. It's nice and short and to the point and gives you some information that is very important. 5G Wellness 101 by Roz Ben. CRASBEN. That's super easy. He has so many other books too, so y'all can go get that. Thank you, Daughter Shine, Sprinkle Sprinkle. I dream about people's inner secrets when I think about them before I go to bed. What is that about? We're all connected. So if you're trying to be on a frequency and you're thinking about a certain person, sometimes you're able to tap into their frequency. And I do it all the time. So if you let's say you'll be thinking about someone before you go to sleep, and when you wake up, they've contacted you somehow or sent you something or texting you or whatever. Because if we're walking around in this, right, remember thoughts are also frequencies. So we're walking around and all this energy, and when we think something, that's also another band of energy that's going out, another frequency that's going out. So that 5G and all that stuff is carrying that as well. And if you're sending it to a certain person, it's going to get there. Try to do that, like, and see how well it works with all this 5G up in the air. This is the technology that the ancient Atlanteans used. So look at this. This is the magnetosphere of the Earth. It's one of the layers. Then below that, you have a couple of more layers in the ionosphere and so forth and so on. See? Looks like a jellyfish or a giant spider. And it's shielding you from the UVB radiation, but this is the Earth in the middle. But a lot of this has been disrupted, and it is allowing all these neutrinos and stuff from the sun to get in. So now you're being bombarded with UVB radiation, neutrinos, 5G, and all of that stuff. So I was trying to find that photo that I showed you guys earlier. So when you have a thought that comes out of your mind, a thought, it becomes a frequency. A frequency goes into the air and starts to flow, and it has friends or other frequencies that are going to carry it, because it's carrying information already. It's carrying internet, it's carrying emails, it's carrying videos, streams. And so that person most likely has a phone very near to them. So it's going to travel super fast, because it's also probably traveling on an internet 5G wave. It's going to travel super fast to that person. If they got a phone and, the thought enters their phone or your head or their head, or, they're going to think of you. And if they're on Instagram or social media and y'all have the same, y'all share, they might pop up or they might think about you. Or because just like sometimes when you think about something and then the ad pops up, but you never talked about it, you never searched it, you was just thinking about it. Because this 5G technology picks up on your thoughts now. That's why in the future, people aren't going to be able to lie. And like I say, you got to lie in code. Because people are going to be able to pick up on it too easily. That's why they're doing a lot of they're trying to transfer a lot of stuff to digital or chips or something like that, because it's going to be too easy to steal your information if you're using numbers and passwords and stuff like that. That's why they're doing facial recognition versus a password. That's why they're trying to do thumbprints versus a password, because if you're thinking your password out loud, it's a frequency out there. And let's just say a hacker sitting there and they're trying to break into your whatever, and they're like connecting with you, looking at your picture, and they're like, what is her password? Trying to figure out, looking at your old videos. Now they're on your frequency. And they're like, okay. They just be writing something, and it could come up if you're typing in your password and thinking it at the same time. And it may or may not, but it's a possibility now. So that's why they're trying to switch everything to something like a pattern or something, like facial recognition or thumbprint, because you can't really pick up on that. There's a documentary about that, right? Sure. If you are thinking about someone, are they thinking about you as well? Probably not. Unless they always think about you. But I would say if you want someone to think about you, think about them and want them to think about you. There you go. It's too easy now. Y'all gotta figure that out. Y'all figure it out. But also you have to remember that person has to like you too. If they don't, thoughts might not be good thoughts. You know. What does it mean if you hear someone calling your name while waking up from sleep? That happened to me a couple of times. Um, I mean, you're leaving one realm or dimension to come into another one. And to me, it's almost as if, think about when you die. Like, say you're dying in someone's arms. What are you going to hear as you transition? Your name being called, right? So every time you go to sleep and every time you wake up, it's a mini death. And remember, time does not exist in a dream. So to some consciousness or some form of consciousness or reality or wherever you were, if you were astral traveling or dreaming, that could have been a death in another universe or another reality. We don't know. There's infinite possibilities, infinite realities. So every time we go to sleep and wake up, we could just be dying and waking up in a whole nother reality. And I keep telling people this is the afterlife. Okay. Deep, right? You can't go that deep because like you'll just get messed up in your mind and just be walking around in a circle. So don't go that deep. Okay. Just chill. Get this decoding done first. I have a video on my YouTube channel. Like when you first click on my YouTube channel page, and it's titled, "Is This the Afterlife?" or something like that. We dead and alive at the same time. Yep. That's quantum physics right there. So there's so many different paths. There's so many different paths in time. There's so many different realities that it is definitely possible to go to sleep and wake up every day in a whole totally different reality with the same people. Mandela effect. Okay. There are some people that messed up and woke up next to somebody they don't recognize. They must have had some deep sleep. He was talking to, there's like videos about, I woke up and my husband was not my husband, or my child was not my child, or I didn't have a child anymore, or something like that. Like they woke up into a whole different reality, but they don't remember. They remembered a different reality. So I don't know, but hopefully that doesn't happen too often. Even in the book of Genesis, when Adam was put to sleep, it was never mentioned that he woke up. Ooh, for real, RS. Sprinkle, sprinkle. And I was reading that actually yesterday. See how much time I got left. Thank you, Thank you, S class. Sprinkle, sprinkle, 1111. I was reading about Adam and Eve yesterday, and it's super coded. Like, put Adam to sleep, and they took his rib. And a rib can be decoded in like 3 ways. It could be decoded like, if you do it according to where a rib is and what it's attached to, it could represent 3 things. It could represent a heart or a DNA component, or it could represent, it could represent like a frequency. Okay, so it could represent a heart, it could represent DNA, I know that's terrible, or a frequency. So if they put Adam to sleep, go to sleep, Adam, night, night, night. That could mean death. It could mean loss of intelligence. It could also mean taking down their level of awareness. And then they took a rib. So they took something that has information in it. So it could be heart, which is a frequency. It could be DNA, which is information. And then it, like I said, the frequency. So it could be genetic engineering to create a second type of human being, which was Eve or woman. It might not have even been a female. Woe, man, of man. It could be the second type of man created. Because there are different types of humanoids made until we got to this particular species that we are now. So we're hybrids from Adam and something else. Okay. So then remember what Eve did. Eve mixed with a serpent race to create us. In that book, they call them the hairy snake or the hairy fish or the mammal and reptile merge or mermaid. That's why in ancient Sumeria, they have those people with fish tails or snake tails and human bodies. So this is the offspring of Eve would represent the mammal / reptile. So then she had a baby. And I think in the Bible it says, look, I made a man. Eve says, look, I made a man. And that was us. So we're reptile and mammal merged together. We're the Dogon. Exactly. The fish, the Dogon, the mermaid, Starbucks lady. It's just a merge between two different type of humanoids or aliens or genetic experiments, whatever you want to call them. Who cares? Cyrus beings, yes. So that's why we have characteristics of both reptilian and mammal as a human. Inky, right? Yeah, there you go. So you have flaky skin. Sometimes you have scaly skin if you're ashy. You got hair like a mammal. Now here's the funny part. So reptiles and mammals have different types of blood temperature. So this is where the bloodlines come in. So a mammal, they're hot. And then you have reptiles, which are cold-blooded. Cold-blooded. They got, but at the same time, they absorb their energies from the sun. Okay, they need that sun. Mammals, they're mostly like, they get their energy from their circulatory system and their body temperature and homeostasis, right? Can y'all tell I used to tutor science? And their fur keeps them warm, and plus their environment. So the reptile has to go out into the sun and sit there and absorb their heat, whatever. So here's the bloodline. the RH negative is always a lower temperature. And I don't want to get too deep into that, but it is naturally a lower temperature. So there's also more copper in RH negative. And you tend to find copper-based blood or blue blood in sea creatures or stuff like that. Insects, sea creatures, crabs. So it keeps going deep because all of our DNA comes from different types of animals and aliens and all that kind of stuff. We all mixed up. Thank you, S-Class. Hi, Shira. I had dreamed last week about a disabled girl in a wheelchair needing help. I only wanted me to help. Her eyes were black with yellow power. A wheelchair, the chariot. Black and yellow, black and yellow. That'd be cold. I had a tiger. Firework. All right. Wheels. Chariot. Body. Black and yellow. That represents, to me, by my level of knowledge, it represents somebody that it can represent an energy, a spirit, a soul that is you know how they call it the wheels or the chariot wheels or whatever, like a wheelchair or a throne or something in the Bible. It's a frequency and, you know, wheels within wheels, chakras, how your spirit and soul travel, like a wheel. And black and yellow is symbolic for someone who has two sides or mixed, or that's why you see the same thing as a cheetah print. You know, it represents having both black, white, reptilian, mammal. You know, it's like a hybrid. So whatever she was asking for help, she didn't have enough melon to get through. You got some melon? Remember, a lot of these beings can come to you in your dreams as well, and to try to trick you in the dream state and in the world to go into what the light, to help them to do, because these frequencies are now being sent through 5G high up in the atmosphere through satellites. Y'all know it's going to get this deep, right? So if there's trapped souls, if there's, you know, energies that can't get past a certain level, they may appear to you, and then, like, when you astral travel, this is why you need to read the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. They say, oh, if you hear, you know, sounds of a hound, get back to your body quick. Don't travel in angles, travel in circles, wheels, you know. And so depending on the amount of energy you have also depends on where your soul presides in the heavens. So like in the ionosphere and the particles and the plasma. So this is why a lot of stuff will start appearing to you in dreams that seems totally real and not like surreal, because it's messages from those energies and frequencies. Thank you, Kenya. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Hi, I dreamed of eating from a cobra head in a dream. Girl, sprinkle, sprinkle. Go look up what cobra head means. Y'all already know what that means. You've helped. After I helped her, I heard she passed away from cancer, and I cried hysterically. Oh, sprinkle, sprinkle. Well, maybe she just needed your help in a dream to, you know, your approval here or there in the spiritual realm or any realm is still approval. It's kind of like, I don't know if you probably didn't see that video. It's kind of like your stamp of approval. You're okay. They're okay with you, whatever. Mhm. Those dreams are trippy. Yeah. So, yeah, the cobra head is represented in the ancient writings, and it's the code for something. It could be the rising kundalini. It could be what they call the ejaculatory cobra. But also like your energy that rises out of the top of your, come out of your pineal gland as your frequencies rise, your kundalini rises, as your intentions rise into the heavens. So to put it back in your mouth, it's cold. To me, it would seem like you're going to receive the knowledge, but through your throat chakra and down into your lower chakras instead of through your pineal gland, because maybe this is blocked. Maybe this is also saying you need to unblock this because they're trying to get through here. Okay, that's why some people gotta do certain things, because this blocked. Okay. This is all there's a lot of stuff that they do in the occult and these secret societies. They'll find an adept or someone who's really high up. And if you got a blocked pineal gland, the only way you can get this knowledge is to doing some stuff. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna break it down to you on a spiritual magical level. This is how people start to think once they get real deep into the occult. I'm just gonna tell you, and it's not right. It don't seem right, but that's not how they think after a certain level of consciousness. So let's just say there's a higher up or a celebrity or somebody that has all this knowledge, information, connections, da da da. And you want it, you just can't receive it, And so now they've found different ways to do things, like I said. So if you don't want to, like, if some people are uncomfortable with participating in the act itself of, extracting certain things from testes, they can serve it up to you in some champagne. Champagne. Bubbles. Little circles. Yellows. The wine. The pop the cork. Champagne poppy. Anyway, so your sperm as a male, those are little bitty versions of you. They hold your DNA. They hold your frequency. Thank you, RS Sprinkle Sprinkle. Appreciate that. So your little babies, your gang, your little mini gang. Sprinkle Sprinkle. Why is black cat near my medicinal herbs? I don't know. Cats have high frequency. Sprinkle Sprinkle. They must be absorbing the energy. So thank you for, by the way, they have many versions of themselves in their sperm, right? So let's just say, oh, I'm a new rapper to the game, but I want to be famous like Drake, and I want some of his DNA, I want some of his magic, I want some of his sprinkle. I want some of that champagne. Champagne Poppy, I need some of your champagne. So how much are you willing to pay? What are you willing to do? Da, da, da. Okay, well, here you go. Here's a little vial. Or here's a glass of champagne with some stuff in it. Now go ahead and drink that. But when I need the favor, I'm going to call on you, or you have had, you got to pay me up front. So this is what a lot of stuff that goes on in the industry now. I think this is how it goes on, but there are certain people that are homosexual and they would like to definitely engage in the physical act of extracting. And so this is where you get a lot of people like saying, oh, they do this, oh, they do that, or, and some people don't. They just exchange the fluid like in a vial. So you have different people participating in different ways. And a lot of times people don't realize this. It goes super deep. There's way more ways to do certain things than that too. But definitely, if you're not ready for that knowledge, don't even bother to try to get it, because it's going to literally change your perspective of everything. Just take little steps. Take smaller steps. Yeah, if it's too overwhelming, step back. Yes. What about Adam and Eve's children? Adam created Eve. Eve was another type of being. So there was two different types of beings on the planet, because there was not just one Adam. Adam was a type of man. So now you have Adams and Eves. And Eve was not one person. Eve then made it with a serpent race person and made a hybrid. And then she also made it with Adam and made a child with Adam and Eve. Okay. So then you have Cain and Abel. Cain and Abel. One of them killed the other one. That means one of them absorbed the other one. It also means one of them made it so much with that race that it no longer existed. And then now you have a super hybrid through the natural order, So now you have this person, which was what Cain, the mark of Cain. So the melanated, the eumelanated. And then you have the other, which is the less melanated. This is how they talk about how stuff got, while there was more people on the planet already for them to go mate with, because they weren't just the only people, they were just a type of people. Right. So you would call it the Adam or the Eve, which would mean a type of human. So they went off to mate and spread their seed around the world, because there's already other types of people here. They were just a type of people. I'm just heterosexual. Anybody like me still exists out there? See, appetite for cheating. Yes. Somebody was walking around saying hetero pride. To hetero pride. Yeah. And I forgot to tell you guys also, that's another form of influence. Like I'm gonna be gone in a second, but before all the internet and TV and 5G, there were less LGBT whatever people. And I have nothing against anybody, but this is why I'm saying the influence comes in. And there's several ways that people can be influenced: TV, media, fame, popularity, normalizing things, which is it's fine. But at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, if it weren't for external promotion, let's just say if you are LGBT, would you be LGBT? What's persuaded you in one way or the other if you don't feel like you were born that way? It seemed like a cool lifestyle. The popular kids were doing it. I like, this. I like, I like the celebrity, A, B, C, and D. So this is why you have to also understand you have to have your own free will and not just follow. Because I know a lot of people, children especially, are so confused now. They think it's almost as if it's they have to choose something. They don't understand that it's natural to be this way or that way. They feel like they have to choose it, like they have to choose their style of clothes. And this is why I think a lot of people are now, saying, "Oh, I'm LGBT," because they think it's a choice when it's supposed to be a natural attraction to that same sex, or to not, and then you have people not wanting to identify with the gender at all, which then creates, in universal law, the law of gender. You don't have a gender, so how can you work with the law of gender? And the law of gender also correlates with right and left brain, creativity and logic, da 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 da. A certain type of energy that you can pick up on, and the ability to relate to masculinity or femininity as a form of power, because the universe and the cosmos, they work in gender. So it's another way to kind of, and I'm talking about this on a spiritual level. You can be with whoever you want to be. That's the main part. That's the main point of loving who you want to love. But when you get into all this binary, trends, I don't know who I am. Don't call me by this pronoun, A, B, C, and D. This is where you start to get into an identity, and they're removing your identity, or you're removing it yourself, or you're taking on a whole different identity, which then this is the transgender priesthood, where they can bring in entities since you don't have an identity. Thank you, Imperfection. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Beyonce had blue and black butterflies in a dream. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Cool. Yep. So when you don't have a name, when you don't have a right or left, when you don't identify as anything, you're an open vessel at this point. You're an open vessel. And a lot of people are, this is why a lot of people are open for anything to embody you. And a lot of lower level energies, can't vibrate on a certain frequency to be identified as a gender. Think about it. So there's nothing wrong with loving who you love, but you could still remain who you are and do that as well. The other stuff comes in only through influence. And back in the old days, before people were being able to be influenced on this level, you had secret societies that created these type of people. Well, they were called eunuchs, of course, and they were molded in order to be used ritualistically, because people want to attain knowledge and powers from beyond other realms, and so that they think that these beings and entities would come through these transgender eunuch priests. And so it goes way back to the ancient times. It goes way back to the ancient times. So this is why you see a lot of trends being super popular right now, because it's representing the masculine and the feminine as one. And that's, remember on Lovecraft Country, when they were underground and there was like the skeleton and it reanimated and it was trans. It was like a hermaphrodite of some sort. Well, in alchemy, it's code. It's only symbolic for the purple rain, the star, the moon and the sun merge. It's really supposed to be a child. But since child already means the youngest people on the planet, they symbolize the merge of consciousness with a hermaphrodite or a transgender. It's only supposed to be symbolic. And this is why you see a lot of musicians like Prince and like Michael Jackson look more androgynous, because they are representing the star, the two inverted triangle, the inverted triangle and the descending triangle, which is a star, which is the merge, which is when heaven meets earth. And so once again, they will take something that's spiritual and try to materialize it literally as a way to try to seek power or temporary knowledge that they can't really get access to. But from, instead of higher frequencies, they're getting the lower frequencies, which still have knowledge, but not from the cosmos. So when you get into all this labeling and, Baphomet type energies, this is where they're trying to channel these entities from. So it's kind of like creating a golem, whatever you want to call it, to embody these energies on the planet. But they're not going to come out and tell you this. You have to do your research. And people can't just get on the news or TV and say this, because it's going to offend so many people. But at the same time, they're going to stand up for your rights to be the golem that they need for the rituals that they need. At the same time, say that they're going to protect you from being murdered and killed, but they're the ones actually murdering and killing you and sacrificing you at the same time. So you got to be very careful of what you're influenced by, who's on your side, and why they're so eager to be on your side when y'all have nothing in common. And none of their children look like you. So be very, very suspicious all the time. It sounds like Black Lives Matter saying, yeah, same thing. They do it to people of color, the LGBT. Oh, we're going to help you. And I said this earlier. We're going to help you. Stay close. Stay close by. So you're always in high supply. Okay? So be careful. Be careful who you follow, because it could be a trap. Remember, the world is full of tricksters, and trust no one. You know, that was in a movie. It said, trust no one. But don't, trust no one. Just like in a dream, don't trust anybody. Right. If y'all don't know what a golem is, it's like, it's basically like a clay figure, and then a spirit will animate it and do its master's bidding. Okay. We manifest our gender. Wow, I could grow to feel like a man if I remember being one. No, we don't really manifest our gender. In the physical form, everyone starts off in the female form. Then the sperm genetic information determines the sex of the baby. So that little version of your father determines your gender, or your sex. I'll say your sex. When you are physically born, and then your gender. Gender is how you identify as a man, or a feminine or a masculine, because there's masculine women. Y'all seen them. And there's feminine men. But at the same time, instead of dismissing the masculine part and only accepting the feminine part, you're now living in an imbalanced mentality. So, right. So, like, I guess the best example I can give for a good example is like a Prince figure. He was androgynous, but still very masculine. Or, like an MJ, very androgynous, but still very masculine. Never left his main power source, So when when you're being influenced to leave behind one of your power sources, which is your physical body, when you are being influenced to not embrace that, it's for a reason. Okay? It's for a reason. So you got to think about it. Why do they want you to give that up? What's so important about your masculinity? Or what's so important about, why do they want you to give up your masculinity so bad? Or why do they want you to give up your femininity so bad? I'll tell you why, because that's where your power lies. Because you can't join mind, body, and soul if your body is not on that frequency. You can't collect certain energies and frequencies if you are vibrating at a different frequency. So you're going to be naturally imbalanced, which then causes low frequency, which then allows certain entities or energies to be able to influence you even further. So that's why I'm saying be very careful by what you're being influenced to give up. Okay. I would definitely keep, if I felt like I was like, oh, I feel like I'm born in the wrong body. I'm going to embrace the body I'm born in, but I'm going to also explore other options as far as, sometime like if I feel like this today, I'm going to be this today, but I will never stop identifying as who I am. Because if you're born in this life as a man or a woman, it's for a reason. Your frequency is needed to be at that frequency at this time. So it's kind of like an electron, a neutron, and a proton. You know, if the electron, proton, and neutron is unbalanced, you create a whole different molecular structure. You could throw it off the balance of the universe. So you got to be careful. It can also stop you from passing through certain frequencies as well, because you're not on a balanced frequency. So be careful. Just embrace who you are and, artistically explore whatever you choose to. Thank you. I mean, look at Prince and Michael Jackson. They wanted to wear women clothes, but they wore it in a masculine way. Look at Jaden Smith. He wanted to wear women's clothes, but he figured out how to wear them in a masculine way. This is the true alchemy, like ancient Kemet. That's the true alchemy. What they're doing is trying to put okie doke over a lot of people. So the true alchemy is blending the two in the correct manner. So just go back to the source. Don't take the perverted okie doke version of something that's blasphemous of the original intent. I'd rather remember the time Michael Jackson all day, any day, than, feeling like I'm having to dress up in a costume on a daily basis and do this and that, and not be true to who I was born as. So that's how I feel. Even though as a woman, I feel like I do have to put on a costume every day, but still, it's not a mental thing. All right. I will see y'all on the next one. Sprinkle, sprinkle, everybody. And I'm not trying to offend people. I just break down the knowledge. I don't get emotional. Leave emotions at the door when you come on my videos, because you're going to miss a lot. Okay? Leave emotions at the door when you come to my videos and just get the knowledge, period. I don't I see everything as frequency and energy. So I don't care what you look like, who you sleep with. I don't care. I don't bother me. As long as you understand who and what you are and how powerful you are, that's all that really, really matters. Okay? I'll see y'all later. Bye.